Alright, and welcome back to part 3, the Librarian Cloak. As I'm sure I will have said in the intro, we're going to go and do this following their guide. Their guide is Skaven Blight Dinge, Storm Vermin Fur, and Administratum Grey. We are going to start by painting the cloak Storm Vermin Fur in color, and then we will do our digital looking cloak stuff in the Administratum Grey and Skaven Blight Dinge. So whenever you're ready, grab your model, get your handy hot garbage brush of water, and do a 2-to-1 mixture in your paint pot there. Shake it up. Open it up. And spoon out about an even amount, I think, actually, is what we want to do here. If it feels a little too thick, you can add more water or do a little bit more paint, but I feel like that's about the consistency I'm looking for this. Yeah, that's about right. All right, so grab whichever your favorite brush is for this sort of thing, and let's get to painting. Now you're gonna paint the whole robe, shoulders, over the top, down here, you know, paint everything. I think inside should just remain black. So that's what I'm going to do for that. I'm just going to leave it black, kind of present that air of mystery. So anyway, just get started. Carefully paint around everything you've already done. And I'll see you back after this. Alright, so if you've finished with your Storm Vermin Fur, you are roughly sitting at about this point here. And this is a perfectly acceptable place to stop if you want. I almost did. This looks great. But because I'm going to try to do the triangles, and then I'm going to go back and clean up the black because I left it black underneath. And there's a couple areas where I let the black get some of the Storm Vermin Fur on it. A couple lip spaces, like right here. So we're going to go ahead and try this out. So you take your Administratum Grey and your Skaven Blight Dinge, and you mix them up at about a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 waters to 1 dinge, or to 1 drop of paint, which I have already done here, and I apologize for. Normally I show you mixing me the paint, but I wanted to test out the colors, make sure they worked. So we're going to start on the back. We're going to start with our darker color using our small artificer brush, and we're just going to draw on some triangles. Pick a spot and just draw it right on there. Now the thing I'm noticing with this particular color per their palette is it's not particularly dark when it goes on, and I'm hoping it darkens up after the fact. So I'm just gonna draw this arbitrary triangle shape here and hope for the best. This particular paint may need to not be thinned, because I don't know about you guys, it's really hard to see on the model. And maybe it'll be easier after it's dry, but go about your model here and just kind of, ooh, that was way too much on that brush. Go along the model and just kind of hit it, give it some random spaces here or there, until you feel happy about it. I think I'm going to do one down here across this corner. I don't think going overboard is the way to go, but you know, it's your model, you do what you want. I'm just going to do a couple, I think. Wow. Wow, why is that coming out so thick? And probably do 2 to 3 thin coats of this particular color in your triangles. So we're going to do that. And then make it Sharpie. And you know what? It doesn't have to be triangles. Go crazy. Go nuts. Trapezoid that thing up if you want. Just try to keep your edges nice and square, whatever you do. So, paint these on and come back to me when you're happy with your shapes. Happy little shapes. I guess those are starting to register a little bit there. Nice. So 2 thin coats. Come back to me when you finish with this step all over the model whenever you're happy with it. Now, if you've done everything right according to my current steps and also the box art for Shadowspear, your model should look about like this. I am not happy with this particular color. Skaven Blight Dinge is just not enough variation. It's very hard to see. Now, the Administratum Gray is going to look great next to it, but because I'm trying to do the box art for the most part here, we're going to do it this way. So you get your Skaven Blight mixed up, grab your brush, repeat steps. Repeat the steps, blah through blah, like you've been doing. I mean, we're just going to paint another triangle. This one you're going to try to do tied into these other spaces here, just a little bit. Let's find a good place to start. We'll start right back here on this. So, I actually want to go underneath this, so I'm just going to draw a line. And get back fully onto the camera here. Just going to draw a little bit of a line, since I know approximately where about the dinge goes, and then continue it underneath and out the other side, and then just clean it up like that. Now, just like before, this will naturally require two coats. You can go thicker if you want to be faster, but it gets a lot harder to control your lines as you're drawing them out. So I think that yeah, that's starting to look about the way I want it to look. So you're just going to kind of go along and mix and match your colors up a little bit. You can go over, you can go under, you can go around, and it's your model. Go wonky, go nuts. But just try to keep your brush down to a point. Try to keep the amount of paint you have on it to a minimum. Let's see. Boy, this was a terrible position to put this one here. Let's just go over it. And we'll do this. Draw a line. And draw a second line. Fill your hole in. Remember, they don't have to be exactly the same. They don't have to be triangles. They can be whatever you want. Just do whatever you want with your best. Heck, they could technically be the regular camo colors. I mean, shapes, if you want, if you are a fan of camo. Yeah, so 2 coats, draw your spaces out, draw your shapes out, and come back to me when you're done with that part. Right, so here we go. I have got the colors laid out, base down. This would be a great stopping point if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and do a wash of Agrax Earthshade over the entire area. Normally I would do a recess wash, but I'm feeling like I'm just going to do the whole thing, go over the whole area that is the gray and let it settle, and then I'll go back and do basically the exact same thing I did on the other parts to raise back up. So like when I did the blue on the legs here. So yeah, and the gloves. So I'm gonna do that, and you know, I'll finish it up, and I'll give you guys some pictures of the end there. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So as always, when you finish, base it in the way as the rest of your army. Mine will be based with my sandy mix, as well as a few weird desert flowers to match the scheme that I've got for the rest of it. And then dusted to give it the effect of traveling through the desert for a long period of time. So, all right. Thanks. You guys have a great day, and check out the pictures here in just a second. All right. And there we go. The finished Librarian. All sorts of fancy camo cloak stuff. I don't know if you'll be able to follow this video, to be honest. I'm a little all over the place with this, as it was mostly an experimentation. My advice is just grab whatever colors you like and experiment with them a little bit. If I had to do this model differently, I would actually go back and paint the cloak probably about along the same time as I do. I used Agrax to wash it, but I feel like a Nuln wash over that would have been just fine. And then when I was building back up all my highlights, like if you look at his head there, you can see it's much lighter than in other areas. As I was building him back up using the same techniques I used in the first video, it would have been a little bit easier. But as it is right now, he is based and ready to hit the table with the rest of my army. So yeah, I like him. I've been Dave with Mob Rules. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and have a great day.